Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well and welcome to another installment of What on Earth Is, where we find out exactly what a game actually is, what it offers, and what you have to do in it. Today we're looking at an unbelievably popular game called Genshin Impact. For all the gamers and live streamers out there, this game will be familiar to you because it's risen to unbelievable levels of popularity in just the last 2 months alone, and people are going absolutely crazy for it. Well, what exactly is Genshin Impact? Stay tuned to find out. I just want to mention briefly that I do stream on Monday and Wednesday from 8 PM to 12 PM Central European, which is 2 PM to 6 PM Eastern Standard Time, link in the description below. We do all kinds of talks, chilling out and playing different games, and I'd love to see you during this next stream. Let's continue now with Genshin Impact. The game launched on September 28th of 2020, and as I said before, it was an absolute one-hit wonder. Now, it's available on PlayStation 4, iOS phones, Android phones, and Windows PCs, although on the website it does says Windows, so I'm sure you can also play it on Xbox. Now, although it's categorized as a single-player adventure, you'll soon find out that you can invite a couple of your best friends to join your journey, and you can play with up to 4 people at the same time with crossplay enabled of all the aforementioned platforms. So Genshin Impact is a free-to-play, cartoony, anime-style single-player role-playing game where you're a traveler from another world who embarks on an exciting and beautiful-looking journey to reunite yourself with your long-lost sibling and unravel the mysteries of a world called Teyvat. Now, when you first step into the game, you have to choose between either one of the two siblings, which I won't show on video because I would love for you to experience the amazing-looking introduction for yourself, because it really does look very good. And a small disclaimer, I am definitely not sponsored by them in any way, but I just want you to get the same exciting feelings as I did when I first launched the game. In my personal opinion, I really like the soft, cartoony, anime style of the game because it reminds me of a combination of older games I love. For example, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker was one of my absolute favorites, and it had a similar style, and it was just an absolutely fantastic game. So the gameplay of Genshin Impact looks very much like a really cool hack and slash game, but then set in a more MMO/RPG open world kind of setting, which feels like a very good combination, to be honest, and I have to say, it plays like it as well. So in the game, you use your hack and slash skills combined with a good amount of elemental magic skills to defeat enemies with a difficulty that slowly ramps up, but you'll also be solving some very challenging puzzles in between. The combination of the melee fighting style, the looks of the game in general, and the elemental combat make for a tremendously good looking and satisfying game. The artists of Genshin Impact seem like they know their audience and they played very well into what people enjoy these days. The game also doesn't exactly have a difficulty setting, which means it's very approachable by every kind of gamer, serious or casual. It does start off as quite an easy game, but that doesn't take away from the satisfaction with a smooth combat. The only thing I want to say about this is that I've noticed is that I think this game plays a bit better with the controller in hand. It just feels a little bit smoother, the immersion is also a little bit more palpable. It's sort of like harkening back to the old days of GameCubes where you could dynamically change characters with the D-pad and destroy enemies with your own preferred style. I mean, this game just keeps scoring points, to be honest. So as I've said before, the combat entails a combination of melee and magical attacks, but you aren't restricted to just one character. While playing the game, as you'll see in the background, I already got to play with 5 characters in total, each with their own different kinds of weapons and abilities. I love the ability to just change characters on the fly, which makes the game very dynamic, but also enables you to just play with the style you want. Or, if you're super into it, get some crazy, super effective elemental combinations going where you're just absolutely annihilating your enemies. In Genshin Impact, you'll have the opportunity to play with over 20 different characters, with more to come according to the developers, and as I've said, they all have their unique abilities, personalities, and combat styles. What's also a nice touch is that they've added some lovely voice work to the different important characters in the game, and as you would probably expect,
adorable. Sadly, the timing is regrettable.
They put those voices through some magical anime style effect, and to be honest, it's good, but it's also quite funny. So the game plays well, looks absolutely beautiful, and is well put together. But what about the actual settings of the game and how much can you actually adjust to your own liking? Let's go over to ArchMaxi Live. As we do with all games we check on what on earth is, we are going to check the settings because those are important for everyone. So the settings for Genshin Impact are quite interesting because you can control your type via keyboard or via keyboard. Apparently there's no controller options, even though my Xbox is plugged in, my Xbox controller is plugged in. You can adjust the camera sensitivity. These are all quite basic things. Move forward. These are your configure controls, normal attack, scales. These are all different skills and items and equipments and all kinds of bindings you will learn during the small tutorial that there is. A wish screen, apparently. And these are quite extensive, I have to say. Switch a party member, use different like switch, walk, run, check tutorial details. This is something you'll need quite often because this game is strange, to say the least. The most important settings are the graphics quality, obviously. This is set to custom because I did change some things. Display mode, yeah, that's just basic. FPS apparently cannot go higher than 60 and cannot go lower than 30, which I think is just a little bit ridiculous because most gamers nowadays use monitors that have a way higher than 60 FPS refresh rate. So that's strange. And apparently for VSync you can close it or open it. It's closed right now. Maybe I should open it if I wanted to get some more FPS because I do have a 144Hz monitor, but this is not the case at the moment. Render resolution is set to 1.1 apparently. Normal games I think have 100%, so this for some reason it adds 10%. It's fine. I haven't changed it. Shadow quality is high. TAA. Motion blur is off because, as you all know, motion blur is bull crap. And everything is set to high because I wanted to get some cool gameplay and not have FPS problems. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna change wherever possible to highest because I am using an RTX 3080, so this should be fine. You can adjust the audio with kind of basic settings, but everyone will know these. Messages don't display anything apparently. Okay, good to know. You can change the game language to a couple different options if these are your preferences. And you can change the voiceover language to these 4 things. These aren't necessarily quite surprising. You have information about your account, user-centered privacy policy of the game, and you have other, which are minimap settings, which apparently can rotate or be fixed, which is set to mine. And auto-rotate, open or close. They prefer the words open and close instead of enable or disable apparently, which is fine. And those are pretty much that's the extent of the settings in Genshin Impact. So there's enough for everyone to work with, but not too much that you get out of control. So what I also wanted to show you live is a couple different options when you press escape in the world of Genshin Impact. You can see all these different kinds of options you have here. Let's just go through them very quickly. You have a party setup where you can invite your friends, or you can just see your own party, which exists of 2 characters for me at the moment because I'm just a noob and I just started up, but you can invite more friends if you have any friends, as you'll see, because I don't have them. And if anyone wants to join, you can put it in the comments below. Also, because it's an MMO sort of RPG type, you have achievements which are quite extensive. You can see there's an entire list per achievement going on. I suggest you read these on your own because it's a lot. You have information about your characters and your current character, which isn't necessarily that important at the moment. Your inventory is interesting to say the least. You can see your equipment and you have something called enhancement ore with which you can improve your weapons and your gear. You have different kinds of artifacts which you can equip. As you can see, they give a certain kind of bonus. This one has a 2-piece set and increases incoming healing, but they all have different kinds of abilities and specs. You have character development items, which is the reason why my main character is level 16 already, because these, for some reason, I got these and they boosted him up to level 16 like that. You have different kinds of food. Obviously, they look delicious, but they also have different kinds of specs. As you can see, this one will probably have some sort of defense boost. This is a health boost. This is an attack boost. I mean, it says increases crit rate by 15%. So that's kind of an MMO thingy where you have food that improves your stats, which is cool. And it looks absolutely delicious. You have different kinds of materials which you can work with. I'm not sure what they do because I don't have... You have different kinds of materials with which you can probably do something, but I have yet to figure out what it does. I'll put it on the screen if I figure it out later. You have quest items, which I have in this moment, and you have precious items, which are just cool sigils, for example, with a little story. And then we go to the map, which you can also access by pressing the M button on your keyboard. You can see these points are teleport points, so it's sort of like a fast travel for Genshin Impact. These I haven't discovered yet, or what else is going on. This is like a dungeon where you can go. You do need to be at least level 22 for this certain kind of dungeon. Well, that's the first one I've discovered, and you need some friends, which I don't have. And you can discover more teleport points on the way to improve your fast leveling. This is the world, as you can see. It's not that big. Maybe it'll grow. But we'll see as we play. Then we have community and feedback. These will both open a browser window where you can give feedback on the game. You can access the community, you can access the forums, and you can just interact with all kinds of different players from around the world playing this very interesting, strange, sort of fun game. Let's go. So the settings of the game are quite ordinary and quite fitting for this kind of game, to be honest. And like I said about this game feeling like a console game, that's being reflected, I think, in the maximum frames per second that you can get in the game, which is 60. Now, most TVs are 60 Hz nowadays, with people expanding until 120 or even higher than that. But I'm thinking the developers stuck true to something that is good for console gamers nowadays and just fine for PC gamers. But the game just came out less than 2 months ago, so I'm sure they'll add some updates as they go and increase the possible FPS count for PC gamers in the near future. Please don't quote me on that, though. So there we have it, Genshin Impact. I mean, it's not difficult to see why this game is so popular. It's beautifully made, the combat looks and feels amazing, the story is very good as well, and you always feel like you're being drawn towards the next quest or achievement, and you feel the urge to complete it and go straight on to the next one. The characters are well made, and overall it's a very good game, which steps away a bit from the other tier 1 games like Call of Duty Warzone, Counter-Strike and Valorant, where there's a strong sense of competition going, but Genshin Impact puts the focus more on a soft but fun and exciting hack and slasher with which you can relax a bit more and just have a good old time playing a game just to enjoy it. Now, if you feel like I missed something or have a question or suggestion, please put it in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I would love to see you guys all for the next video and during my next stream. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you'll enjoy your lovely weekend. Bye!